All right, it's time for another IMA BMW Isetta video. You guys like working on Isettas, don't you? I know I do. Always trying to figure something out. So this is IMA from Idaho. She's a 57 Isetta slider, and it's been with me for a while, trying to get rid of some oil burning, and now I'm working on the carburetor. And if you're not familiar with a BMW Isetta, the engine's in the side. It's a 13 horsepower, 4-stroke bike engine that's been detuned for car use. So 13 horsepower at a low RPM and more torque than a bike engine. It has a different cam. So we've been working on IMA, trying to get through what's causing the issue. Oh, here we go. Here we go. It's a great job. Oh, yeah, 3 of them. Oh, I'm glad to get that on video. They've been buzzing me all day. Another one. That's the sound of freedom. Oh my goodness. Okay, Blue Angels are in town. They're buzzing me. They've been doing that all day. It's kind of shocking when that happens. So, back to our low-powered power plant here. This is our BMW Isetta, and we've had some issues with the float. The float is this little brass guy, and it's on a rod that is at the bottom. So when the float floats up, it seals the needle and seat from the bottom up. Does that make sense? So it's gravity feed comes through this tube right here, goes into the filter. Just the head pressure, the weight of the fuel, fills up the fuel bowl from the bottom to the up, and there's a tapered needle and seat. Let me show you here without breaking anything, which is this rod right here. It looks like a nail, and the head of the nail goes up like that, and it seals against the metal seat there when the float is clamped onto there. I was running this thing, and it kept overflowing, and I was like, what is wrong? The clip, or this metal rod on the top, you can see I soldered a new end on it. It had broken, and so the float was just floating however it wanted to on the rod, and it was causing IMA to overflow with fuel, just like all over, like just dump fuel all over. So we're going to put the float back in there like that, and then we're going to sneak the rod in from down below like this, and I'm hoping it'll clip. See how I push the rod in there, and then if I push this down, it grabs that. Ooh, can you see? And when it gets to the point where it's going to snap onto that little crack, there we go. It did. And so now this goes up and down, and I just have to put my cap down in there, fill this full of fuel, and make sure it doesn't overflow. So let's do that. I need my both hands here. Hopefully there's no more Blue Angels, because they've been scaring me. Okay, so we got our needle cap back on the bottom, which is the float bowl drain, and it looks like this is going to work. The float is now securely attached to the rod, which means if I turn the gas on, it shouldn't all go over the side of the engine. So I'm going to turn the gas on, and that's the on position, and then we're going to start the engine right here with the key. It's on. We should have a little bit of fuel in there. Yes, we do. We're going to let this warm up a little bit. Make sure we got no fuel leaks. A little wet there. Engine's running good. Purrs like a kitten. We're going to give her the beans here. What would happen is when I give it a lot of throttle, the float would come detached and it would flood the carburetor. Sounds great. And look at that. My solder job worked. Then we can put the lid back on like this and see if that makes it even better. What happens? Is it going to richen up? Is it going to overflow? We don't know. Get these screws on here. IMA is just purring like a kitten. Oh my goodness. I'm in love. This sounds so good. This may be the best engine I've ever built for one of these. Really tried hard to make this nice. Okay, I gotta tighten these up. Very small screw head there. I gotta get a tool for that. There's 6mm. There we go. Okay, we got a lid back on. Let's rev it up a little bit. Just had time to warm up. Runs really good. No more smoke out the exhaust. Oh, that's nice. Not even a little bit of smoke. Check it out. Oh, that's really good. Okay, I'm going to change the oil because I know fuel has gotten into the oil and we don't want oil saturated fuel. Oh, she's running sweet. You gonna keep running? Oh, 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 oh. She gonna flood out? What's going on here? Ran out of gas. Did we just run out of gas? I think I just ran her out of gas. Acts like it ran out of gas. I have not checked the fuel level, but I'm pretty sure I'm out of gas. Been running this thing a lot. Could flip it to reserve. Oh yeah, we're low. Okay, we got to get some gas in this thing or flip it to reserve and see if that will help. All right, so I'm very happy with the way IMA's turning out. I've got the oil draining here because I don't want to run any fuel saturated oil in my engine rebuild. And I had it nice and hot, piping hot, as hot as it gets. I said it's only hold 2 quarts. You can see not a lot in there. So we're gonna let that drain overnight, get all that hot oil out of there, and we'll pick up and take this thing for a road test soon. Stay tuned, will you? I think you're gonna enjoy riding along with IMA.